When trying to find the right YieldMax ETF, shouldn't I just be looking for the one with the highest distribution rate? And what does that even mean anyway? Hello my friends, it's Legend. I wanted to do a video about explaining what the distribution rate is on the YieldMax website. I imagine all of you have probably seen this on the website and might not even really understand what it means. For instance, I'm showing here the YMAX distribution rate of 43.44%. And what that is the rate at which the distributions pay out per year. So the distribution would be 43.44% of the current price per year. So to better understand and to help some of those out there who are more visual like myself, I'm going to do a little spreadsheet and we're going to punch in some numbers and just to kind of help explain what it is that we're looking at. But before I go there, if you could please hit that like button and subscribe, it'd be much appreciated. So let's move over to my spreadsheet. Okay, so here we are on my spreadsheet. I'm doing a split screen here and I'm using SMCY just as an example. Just because if you look here, scroll down, it has a distribution rate of 119.29%. And if you're looking at these and you're trying to find one that you're thinking, oh, I want a good distribution rate because I want that big distribution, you may see this 119% and you're thinking, wow, yes, I would love to get 119% in a year on the price. That is awesome. So it can be a little misleading. I mean, it is true that right now, currently, it would be paying out a distribution rate of 119%, just rounding that number, but at the current price. So just to better evaluate whether you want to get into a certain ETF or not, I just wanted to show and help you understand what this distribution rate actually looks like when you start throwing numbers at it. Okay, so here we are on the Morningstar chart looking at SMCY. And again, I'm only using this as an example. I do not own SMCY, nor am I suggesting that you get into SMCY. I just wanted to use it because it had a very high distribution rate, and some new people coming in may see that and think, I want the one that's paying out the most. I want the one with the highest distribution rate. And I wanted to show you exactly how that might not be what you want. So as you can see here, SMCY started out at roughly about that $50 range, and it currently sets at about a $25 range. So those will be some easy numbers to punch in to calculate here. And we'll use those numbers and just to kind of give you a better idea of that distribution rate and give the actual distributions that you would earn during those periods of time. So I'm going to go back to my chart here and we're going to punch in some numbers and we're going to see what that dividend actually is using that distribution rate. Okay, so here we are back on the chart, and I have SMCY over here on the right hand side, and this shows the distribution rate of 119.29. Now this number here will change daily because the price changes daily. As we saw on the chart, you saw where it started at the 50 and we're at now $25. And it has gone a little bit up and it's gone way down. It had that big drop from around that $50 and it dropped all the way down to like $21 or so, and it has now come up to about $25 over the period of time since it has been out. So let's punch in some numbers here, and we'll just say that this one here has been paying out that distribution rate of 119% the entire time. So if we enter in a price of $50 here, so now we have a $50 stock price, and we're going to enter in our distribution rate of 119%. So what will the amount that you would earn per year at that rate? Well, at 119%, it's going to be $59.50. And that is the distribution that you would earn per share per year. So you're seeing that and you're thinking, so I can recoup my money in 1 year. That sounds like a good deal to me. I'm in. But you may want to tap the brakes a little bit there because that's at a $50 price. What did we see it at before? We saw that the price here had gone from that $50, and then we'll say that it went to $48. All right, so let's punch in $48, the new price. And again, we're going to keep that distribution rate. We're just going to assume that it's always paying out that big high distribution rate. Now, it doesn't necessarily stay there. It will fluctuate. It can go up. It can go down. We'll just keep it right there and just show how this is fluctuating on the amount that you're earning. Again, the 119, the amount earned now is $57.12 per year. Now, this one here pays out every 4 weeks, so that's not $59.50 or $57.12 per payout. That's the distribution per year. So if we want to find out what that would be per payout, that would be every 4 weeks, right? So we could say that if this amount is per year, then we would take that and we can divide that by 52. That would give me per week, and then we can take it times 4. So therefore, we're showing every 4 weeks the amount that we would actually earn. So you're looking at earning $4.58 per distribution payout. So this one here would be per distribution. And this one here, even though it is the amount you would earn, it is per year. So now we have the distribution. This is each individual distribution. And this one over next to column to it here is the per year. So we can take that number and we can drag that down. Okay, so let's go back to our chart here and let's get some more numbers. All right, so here we're back at the around $53, and then we hit way down here at around 22. So we had a 53 and a 22. So let's enter those. So we had a $53 right here. And we had a 22. I'm going to go ahead and enter it so I don't forget the numbers. And we're going to keep again at that 119% for both. So for the $53 one, we just earned $63.07 for the year. For the $22 one, we just earned $26.18 for the year. What is each distribution payout? $4.85 on the 53 and $2.01 on the $22. Now, as you can see, as that price is changing, so is your distribution. Even though we're keeping with that big high 119% distribution here, you can see that the amount of distribution that you're actually earning is dropping. It's still the same percentage of the price, but as the price is dropping, your amount that you're actually earning is dropping as well. So if it stays at that $22 for the year, you're looking at earning $26 for the year. So now you're not getting your full 50, even though that you put 50 into it, you're only now getting $26 a year. Your return on your investment was going to be in 1 year. You were going to get your full amount back and a little extra. But as that price has been dropping, now you're only getting $26 per year. So now in order to get your $50 back, it's going to take you twice as long. So instead of 1 year, now you're looking at needing 2 years at this price to recoup your $50. Now, let's look at some more here. All right, so we went back up here and we got back up to about $38.50 and then we're back at say $25.75. So $38.50 and $25.75. So $38.50 and $25.75. Okay. So now we're keeping that big, nice, high, juicy 119% distribution rate. So we think we're doing awesome here. All right. But look at this. Now we're around about $45 and $30. Okay, so let's drag this on down right there. Now let's just say that this was your first payout, your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth, and your sixth. So after 6 payouts, 4 weeks, you're basically looking at, I know it's a little less, but say 6 months. We'll say each one is roughly about once a month. I know you do get paid an extra one per year, but just to keep this nice and simple, we're going to say that this is 6 months since we have 6 payments. So before, when you were at the $50 at 119% distribution rate, you were going to get $59.50. So you were going to get your money back in just under 1 year to get your $50 back. Well, the price did change. Our distribution rate, we kept the same. Therefore, our payouts are less, and our distributions that we are getting on each distribution is also dropping. So let's see what the total actually is so far off of 6 months. Now before, with this first one here, we should have been about, $25, a little over actually, but at $50 at 100%, that would be about $50, and half of that would be $25. So $25 for a half a year is what we should have received had it stayed at that $50 price, and that distribution rate would have stayed at the 119. But instead, we're looking at this. So I can simply add this column. It's going to be $21.72. So you have the $21.72 that you've earned over the 6 months. And again, I am just rounding to the even months here. I'm just assuming that this is 6 payments, 6 months. So we've got $21.72 for 6 months, and we were looking to get roughly $50 in 12 months. So if we earned $21.72 in 6 months, we would have earned double that in 12 months. So we can easily say that times 2 is going to give us our $43.44. That means that we are shy of that $50 mark, so therefore it will take us a little over the year to get to that $50. Now, this is just 6 payments here, and I was just picking numbers out of the air here. I was just picking them off the graph, but you have to also understand there hasn't even been 6 payments for SMCY yet. Again, I was just using this as an example to show how that distribution changes as the price changes. So don't always just think, since it's got 119% distribution rate, that you're going to rack up and you're going to make your money back in less than 1 year, and you'll be sitting nice. You can pull out your seed money and just play with the house money at that point. That is not necessarily the case, because the distribution rate could change. It could go up, it could go down, the price could go up, the price could go down. So let's just see, what does that do if we do get a, say, lower distribution rate? We'll use the 25.75 here of what we just saw above, and we'll say the distribution rate got cut in half. What does that do for the amount that we earned? Well, now the amount per year that you would get is $12.88, and that amount now is 99 cents per share per distribution. So as you can see, both of these numbers, the price and that distribution rate, plays a huge part in your earnings. And that distribution rate, as we know, if you see and you check out the website, you'll notice it. it does change, and it changes daily because the price changing, therefore the distribution rate changes. So I hope that helps you better understand a little bit more about that distribution rate. Just because it is a high distribution rate does not necessarily mean that that's one that you need to get into because you want to hurry up and get your money out of it and then just ride and play with the house money. But as I'm showing you here, that is not necessarily the case. As the price changes, the distribution changes, so does your distribution payouts. So I hope that kind of helps everybody better understand that distribution rate a little bit better. I just didn't want people to see that high number and think, well, I want to get into the one that's paying out the most. And that's not necessarily what is happening here. When you see that number, that's not what that means. It is 119% of the current price. So you got to kind of take both and use both to decide on which is the ETF that you want to get into. So I think I'm going to wrap it up right there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you can get notified of other videos. So as always, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before you get into any stock plays. And until next time, legend out.